I start building the wing, I thought I'd have a go at making the second radiator cooler. So I cut it out from the model, placed it on this small bit of balsa strip that I had as a template, cut that out, and now what I'll do is I'll layer this up with some thicker balsa and then mould it to shape. The reason I've chosen this piece is it's pretty much the same as that, so I'll mould down to that base. So I just need to build it up now, sand it into shape. Okay, after a fair bit of sanding, I'm going to turn the block into the additional cooler. Not perfect, but they're not going to be side by side when they're on the aeroplane anyway. But you get the idea. This one pretty much fits over the wooden one, so it's not that far off. It's quite a snug fit. So yeah, pretty happy with that. If anybody's wondering whether the laser cut version is better than the pressed version, then the answer is absolutely yes. I've just popped all of these out of the sheet balsa that they came in, and it took me 5 minutes, which was brilliant. It's therapeutic, like popping bubble wrap. And then I've just sanded the edges down slightly. That's only taken 15 minutes. Haven't broken one at all. All good quality balsa. They've all come out really nicely. An observation though on these parts here is that the ribs, that is, sorry, the numbering is slightly off again, like it was on the formers. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then one of the 5s has got a 4 on it. The 6s have got 1 on it. 7, 8s has either got nothing on it or a 5. 9, 10s aren't numbered, and 11s are numbered. I mean, with the plan, you can work out exactly which the parts are anyway. But it's just odd that the numbering's wrong on these as well. It's not a big deal. I'm really happy with the quality of the wood and how easily they're pressed out. So yeah, I'm going to get on with building the wing. Building the wing is as per the instructions. Started off by laminating the leading edge pieces, the K2s and 3s. Got those clamped down. Then I pinned it out onto the board, made sure it all fitted neatly. Started putting in the ribs, missed out the ribs there. That's so that I could use those for creating the ailerons. So I just wanted to make sure to get the wing shape first. Cut out the trailing edge where the aileron was going to go. Then I trimmed down the ribs that were going to fit in those gaps. It didn't quite go 100% to plan. You can see on the plan where I've drawn the aileron, where the aileron is. When I put the bit of wood in, there was a slight bend in it, so I ended up having to retrim the ribs, but again you'll see that in a short while. Fitted those ribs in where the ailerons are now. Just checked the wings together, which I've done before, just to make sure everything is as symmetrical as possible before I progress. Started building the centre section. I was putting off building the ailerons because I knew they'd be a little bit more tricky. So pretty straightforward. Underside. I used the wing itself to cut a template out on thin sheet balsa for the base of the ailerons. Use slightly thicker strip balsa for the inner edge of the ailerons because that's where the mylar strips are going to go into. Lined it all up in the wing to make sure that I was going to position the small bits of ribs that I'd cut off in line with the main ribs. Put it back on the plan. The reason I've done this, I've put the stringers on now because the wing had a slight warp in it. When I'd cut the trailing edge, the wingtips lifted up. So what I wanted to do, so that I could also sand it a little bit better, I put the stringers in just to give it a bit more rigidity. Now I can sand down the inner edge of the aileron, stick in the trailing pieces of the ribs, added on the end parts. Had to cut that up by just butting it up and then measuring it on. Did the left hand side exactly the same. While I was fiddling around with the model, I also realised that the actual nose part of the fuselage, whilst you might want to have a 1 degree angle, it seemed significantly more. So when I stood the model upright, there's quite a lean to it. So I decided to create a little shim to straighten it. Just out of sheet balsa again. But once it's up on the plan, much neater. I needed to make new exhaust pipes and a bigger air cooler for the front of the nose. So I was trying to work out what shape and size to do them. For the exhaust stacks, again, as I did with the cooler, 2 stacks of balsa. For the nose scoop, again, I used the plastic piece that came with the kit and then just extended it using balsa, so I had to shape that a little bit and then glue it over. And then I've covered it with tissue just to try and smooth the edges off. I'll put another piece over at a later date. Exhaust stacks then, as I said, 2 strips of balsa, carved them in. Now these aren't perfect, but you know, they look okay. I'm happy with them. My wood carving skills aren't the best, but and then once they're stuck to the model, actually they don't look too bad at all. But at least it's 6 rather than 3 on each side. After I've done that, I then decided to sand the leading edges. This actually I'm quite pleased with. Probably the neatest leading edges I've done on any of my models to date. Nice, smooth and even all the way around. Nice finish. Gives that nice sharper leading edge look for the Spitfire wing. And then there we go, we've had all the wing components made, the wood carvings for the extra bits I need to add. So now I just need to fix the 3 parts of the wing together, install the servos. Once that's all done, I'll then start covering with the ailerons first, then the underneath. Then I can fit the ailerons to the wing itself, and then look forward to putting the whole airplane together. Wing build's complete, all 3 parts put together. The dihedral is as per the plan, hence I've been able to use this brace that comes with the kit. I've now installed the servos. They're glued in because, as I've said on my other models, if you ever need to replace them, you're going to have to cut them out anyway, so they're glued in nice and firm. I've added a few fillets as well, just to give a little bit of extra bonding strength for the centre section to the wings. Cut the groove in for the servo wire, glued those in place. It's all nice and neat. Put the arms up so that I can cover the bottom of the wing with tissue. And then once that's been doped, I'll then slit the tissue and then the arms will come up when I activate them. I did test the servos before installing into the wing, just to make sure they're still working and also that I've got them rotating the correct way so that they're alternate or opposite, sorry, when activated. So that's the wing finished. Now I just need to get on and cover it. Okay, this is the end of part 3. The aircraft is pretty much built now. What I need to do now is install the electrics, build the motor mount, put the cowling on, sort the prop out, sort the electrics inside, then I can cover these parts here. And then I'll get on to painting it. That'll be in part 4. So far pretty happy with the way it's gone. So yeah, if you've liked it, please subscribe, please like the video, and look out for part 4, which will be the complete build and the painting and varnishing. Happy days.